What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Early Edge in 5. I'm your host, Allan Bell. We've got a fantastic show lined up for you today, and I know that I say it all the time that we don't want to waste any time, but we absolutely do not want to waste any time because we have about 10 minutes until the next tip of game. So let's bring in the stars of the show. Let's get these picks out so everyone can get them, and then we can chat about these games. So, fellas, first off, good to see you. Spector, one play, college basketball. Let it rip. What you got?
Yeah, I did not make a college basketball model that analyzes every single play throughout the entire season to not make picks on college basketball during the NCAA tournament. We did it just for this. So we're going to do the first college basketball play on the show, and we're going with Penn State +3. The line has this exactly at +3 for our AI model. And I said, what the hell? We're being a little risky in the NCAA because we know it can get crazy, and we're going to roll with Penn State here. They've won 8 of their last 10 games. They are 9-5 straight up against teams who are in the tournament. And I just like that their senior guard, Jalen Pickett, is averaging 18.1 points, 7.4 rebounds, and 6.8 assists. Those are some solid like NBA numbers. And when you got a star like that on your team, I know you can keep games close because you know what to do in tough situations. Feed him the ball. Penn State +3.
There you go, man. There you go. All right, Barner, coming over to you. We got NBA tonight as well, not just college basketball. Break it down. What you got?
Yeah, let's not forget about the NBA. We got 2 picks. First, we'll go to the Thunder Raptors. We'll do Thunder +6.5. They've played really well as underdogs all season. They are 30-15-1 against the spread as underdogs. That includes them going 27-1 against the spread as road underdogs. They're healthy in this game. They are 8-4 over the last 12 games that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has played. And of those 4 losses, only one of them came by more than 6 points. So I look for them to keep that close. And then we'll head over to the Nets and the Kings game. Got to go back to the well with Mikal Bridges over 25.5 points at -125. He had a favorable matchup against the Thunder in his last game. They played the 3rd fastest place in the league, and he scored 34 points. It's the 5th time in the last 7 games that he scored at least 30 points. Another favorable matchup against the Kings. They've played at the 9th fastest pace, and they have the 6th worst defensive rating. Oddly enough, this is only his 5th home game since becoming a member of the Nets. In 3 of the previous 4, he had at least 31 points.
Solid right there. Solid. Now, EC, you and I, man, we've got a lot to get through. So I'm going to throw it to you. Throw it back to me. Let it rip.
All right, AB, let's go through these quickly. This is a fade the Big Ten day. Now, Maryland didn't go so well because West Virginia was stupid at the end of the game. I mean, just stupid, flat out dumb at the end of the game. They weren't as bad as Virginia, but they were still stupid. All right, we're going to play an Arkansas plus Auburn moneyline parlay at +213. Arkansas is the best player on the floor, and Nick Smith, who's a lottery pick this upcoming year. And Eric Musselman, their head coach, has made 2 Elite Eights in both NCAA tournament appearances with Arkansas. Fran McCaffrey, the coach of Iowa, is so that's the first game against Illinois, fading the Big Ten. Then on to Auburn, Iowa. Fran McCaffrey, 3-7 in the NCAA tournament. Bruce Pearl for Auburn, 33-20. The game is played in Birmingham, which is 2 hours away from Auburn's campus. It's like a home game. So we're playing the SEC teams at +213. Then we've got Boise State and Texas A&M in that money line parlay at +241. Boise State is facing Northwestern. Northwestern has lost 4 of 5. In the net rankings, Boise is 29, Northwestern is 41, and we're getting plus money. We'll take it. Also, on to A&M, who's playing against Spector's pick, and I hate going against the speculator, but A&M is 10-2 in their last 12 with 6 wins over tournament teams. Their net ranking 19, Penn State's is 48. So I'm going to play that money line parlay. Then we've got a couple for tomorrow. We've got Pittsburgh and Iowa State tomorrow morning, early afternoon, over 131. Pittsburgh is 13-2 over this number in the last 15. I tried it the other night. We saw what happened with that. But Iowa State has given up 70 or more points in 4 of their last 6. I actually like Pittsburgh to win this game, though it's just kind of a lean, not a play. Pittsburgh also has not played 2 consecutive low-scoring games all season. And finally, this one's for tomorrow night. I just want to get this in before anybody else can have it. Florida Atlantic on the money line against Memphis. I don't care what Memphis did against Houston the other day. Florida Atlantic is 31-3, and they are absolutely legit. Not only do I think they're going to win against Memphis, I think they're going to beat Purdue in the next round.
Wow, calling for it.
Wow, that is bold. I also went with Florida Atlantic. I totally agree with that. And just on the principle, because Buckets is rooting for Memphis, that is why I'm going with Florida Atlantic. Just because of that. He is on an unreal, just roll of picking the wrong side.
Owl up, baby. All right, take a look at the recap here. Looks sharp. Mike Barner is on the Thunder +6.5. Mikal Bridges over 25.5 points. EC is on Pittsburgh, Iowa State over 131. Florida Atlantic money line. Two-leg parlay plus 213. Arkansas and Auburn. Another two-leg parlay pays out plus 241. Boise State and Texas A&M. The speculator is on Penn State plus 3. And then I got some plays here. Iowa team total over 75.5. That's going to be a fun game. Houston team total over 70.5. Tennessee team total over 73.5. Texas A&M team total over 68.5. And then a 4-leg parlay pays out plus 150. Duke -6. Tennessee money line. Texas money line. Arizona money line. So there we go. Try to get them in as fast as possible. I think you've got like probably 5 minutes here to get those in. So we wanted to make sure that we got them all out. Now, fellas, okay, here's what we got. Put this on the screen here. So we have 10 games on the board for tonight, all right? Princeton, Arizona, Illinois, Arkansas, Auburn, Iowa, Oral Roberts, Duke, Colgate, Texas, Boise State, Northwestern, Northern Kentucky, Houston, Louisiana, Tennessee, Penn State, Texas A&M, and then UNC Asheville in UCLA, the late game tonight, 10:05 p.m. Eastern. So I'm going to leave this on the screen here. First, does anyone see any upsets coming tonight?
Well, wait, first of all, you guys better not say the first game. Well, Spector, you won't. Mikey B, you won't either. AB, you're with me too. I mean, Arizona's going to win this game. I don't know about the 14.5, which is why I didn't put it on the site. It's just a game I'm staying away from. I'm just going to watch it as a fan and yell at my TV and be glad you won't have to watch me. So that's that. Otherwise, I mean, I have 4 of these games here. I'm just fading the Big Ten at all costs. And the other game that I just want to mention, AB, the Norse, my Northern Kentucky team, which cost me a showdown against Coach in the most ridiculously inhumane way possible, other than what we saw from Virginia today. 121.5. They'll be lucky to score 45 against Houston. So, I mean, I'm not going to play the under, but if you're going to play a team total, don't play Northern Kentucky's.
There we go. All right, question real quick. Our man Josh Davis asked, thoughts on Tennessee first half under 63.5. Look, let me say, I like pretty much every Tennessee first half under. I really do think that Rick Barnes and his squad are going to be playing hella defense, especially against the Louisiana team that can shoot threes. But the problem for them is this: Tennessee will shut three-point shooting teams down, right? Like, I mean, they've done it all year. That's really what you're betting on. Will Louisiana be hitting their threes or not? I didn't feel great enough about it to bet it, obviously. But, yeah, man, like this thing cashes game after game. So I definitely lean heavy as hell to it. But obviously, you know, if I felt even better about it, I would have taken it. So, yeah, I hope that kind of made sense. Any thoughts that you guys have on that game? Any other game tonight? What do you see?
I like Colgate to cover on Texas. The model has that. Yeah.
13.5.
Hey, could I tell you a single player besides the one that I just mentioned? No, but I'm just telling you what the model has. Model has Texas by, I believe it was about 10.5. So they have that one, keeping it a little bit closer. So we're rooting for toothpaste.
Here's a question for you. Here's a question for all you guys. We played this on the morning show. Which double-digit spread would you feel best about? All right. So Arizona minus 14.5. All right. Texas minus 13. Houston minus 18. Tennessee minus 11. And UCLA minus 18. If you had to pick one.
That's a good question, AB. I mean, I'm staying away from Arizona for obvious reasons. Texas, a speculator, likes Colgate, so I'm going to stay away from that one. I mean, Northern Kentucky, I think, is going to have trouble scoring. I really do. And I think UNC Asheville might as well. But I'm going to go with Houston minus 18 there. That's where I would probably put my dough down. The other ones I would probably look at, I think UCLA also might drop 80 on Asheville. Maybe the over, but probably not. The other one that I wanted to take a look at was Oral Roberts and Duke. Just kind of an interesting game. That one, Oral Roberts likes to run and gun. I could see that one getting into the 80s. One team getting into the 80s there.
Yeah, Duke's team total was 76.5. I think Oral Roberts was 71.5. I think. I can't remember. But yeah, like I think, what is the total on that? 146?
146. Yeah, so probably like 76 and 70, something like that. I mean, I just think that game could do with free throws or whatnot at the end. If Oral Roberts keeps it close, that game could easily go into the 150s. I might sprinkle something on that later on.
Gotcha.
I agree with AC. I'd take Houston. The model has that one as the largest. It's about 20. Let me see right here. I have it up right here. 21.5 is what we have that spread. So you have an extra 3.5 points, essentially. That's the biggest edge that we have of the double-digit ones that are on here right there. We actually have Princeton covering that spread. We have it at 13 for the model.
What do you have, Louisiana? What do you have, Louisiana, Tennessee?
Give me 1 second. Let me see. I have Tennessee covering 11.5.
Yep.
So
and look at Alabama. So Alabama was my play yesterday, and they're going up right now. They're up 18 going into halftime here. The line was 23.5. I mean, I feel pretty good about us getting a cover there. I said they would win by 30. I mean, they're more than halfway there. These 1 seeds, with the exception of Kansas, who let Howard hang around.
Not to interrupt you. I can't see it in front of me. Where's Kansas at? That game end?
So Kansas is over. The final score was 96-68. So they covered, and the game flew over. So 28. I think you're going to see, 28. So I mean, maybe the Houston game is an overline if Houston drops 80, but Northern Kentucky had one of the best defenses in the country. I'm just laying the 18 points there. I think you talked me into it, AB. I think the minus 18 with speculator agreeing with me. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, especially with Houston coming off of that. I could totally see it, right? Houston's a good team. Like, the problem with Houston is that they're a problem. They're so big, and they can run if you want to, but they generally slow that thing down, right? Like, I mean, they could just choke you out. Like, I kind of – not that Tennessee's built like Houston. They're not. But that's also where, like, this Tennessee-Louisiana game is fascinating, man, because if Louisiana is shooting – it could be tough if Tennessee's not having an offensive night. But if Louisiana's not shooting, like if their threes aren't falling, dude, that could be a bad, like it could be a pretty low scoring game. You know?
Yeah, I don't know much about Louisiana, AB. I've seen them a little bit. Like I wasn't overly impressed with them. And Tennessee, I know they're without, what's his name? The point guard, Ziegler. Yeah, I mean, that's obviously that's tough. But I think this is a game they should get by. Now, you worry, but you talk about Duke the next round. That's a whole different story. I'm sure we'll talk about that more tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So here's another one. Okay. So Duke. All right. They've covered 4 straight. They're going for their 5th. Like, okay. How do you feel about betting teams that are hot coming into the NCAA tournament? Right.
Love
it. Yeah. Keep going.
I love that. I mean, I want, like, obviously A&M and Penn State. Look at that game. Both teams made their conference championship games. Yeah, Penn State almost beat a number 1 seed in Purdue. A&M didn't really have much of a chance against Alabama. Both teams coming in relatively hot. You look at a team like Northwestern, though, they're coming in cold, lost 4 or 5. So that's why I'm fading them. I mean, Boise State is okay. The recent form is okay. Mountain West has not been good. We saw with Utah State earlier and Nevada, whatever that was last night, that cost me $100 to coach and see ya. That was a debacle. But I mean, seriously, I just don't think much of Northwestern. Texas, there's a team coming in off a Big 12 championship, giving a lot of points, and Colgate can shoot. So Spector's on that, and he's right. Oral Roberts, listen, all these teams that we don't know much about, AB, they all won their conference tournament, which means they've all won at least 3 in a row. Yeah. So that's another thing you need to think about.
So, okay, another one. Richard brings up just probably the best question. Keep it simple. Arkansas, Illinois, right?
Well, I'm on Arkansas. Yeah, I'm on Arkansas. I mean, Musselman's a great tournament coach, and I'm just fading the Big Ten. Simple as that.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of the Big Ten, all right, so you were just talking about Boise State, Northwestern, as well as Penn State, Texas A&M. Like, the problem our man John said, Barner's getting bored. Y'all want him in on this.
I'm just absorbing, guys. I'm NBA guy, so I'm listening to the conversation. You don't want my in-depth college basketball. You're not going to get it. So listen to these guys.
I love it. Like, the problem with Northwestern and Penn State obviously, playing super hot down the stretch, is that, man, I've seen those teams go dead. Like, dead. You know what I mean? Like, scoring low 50s. That's the thing that worries me. Not that Boise State is all that great, and not that Texas A&M is all that great. Even though Texas A&M's offense, dude, it's built on drawing fouls. Just get down, go to the bucket, get a foul. But Baldwin will do it all day long. You know what I mean? So, I'm fascinated by those. I don't have any great thoughts on them, but man, it worries me with teams that their offense can just go away. And, and you've seen it. Yeah, go ahead.
But the other thing too, AB, is you're looking at non-tournament tested teams in Northwestern and Penn State. These teams have never sniffed a tournament. Northwestern's been decades. Probably. I mean, I can't even remember. Penn State, it's been a long time. I mean, you're looking at Buzz Williams, the coach of A&M, tournament tested coach at Marquette, so he gets it. Boise State, I think, was in last year, the year before. I'd have to double check that. But they to me are more tournament tested than a team of Northwestern, where I don't know if any of these guys on their team, haven't checked, don't know if they've even played in an NCAA tournament.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, before we get out of here, any final thoughts? Any other games? Any other questions in the chat? Anybody?
I just have to say bear down. I mean, you know where I'm going to run to do as soon as I get off the show. I'm running to the TV. I'm going to yell at the TV. I'm going to say stuff that probably would not be allowed on this program. But Arizona's going to win the game, and I'm not going to freak out about it. And on to the next round, hopefully. Knock on wood.
Yeah. Lance is gone says, am I crazy taking Texas and Tennessee money line? No, I did it. Like I've got Texas, Tennessee, Arizona, and Duke -6, right? Like Duke money line was like -290. I couldn't get it below like -150, but taking Duke with the spread at 6 took it from like -150 to +150. No, man, like I mean, Tennessee's offense can scare you, like if it's one of those bad nights for sure, but their defense is so damn good. Like just keep it. If Louisiana will have to get ungodly hot, like from 3, and they could do it, but like that's what it would take. Texas, I don't have any concerns. Like I like talking money line, no concerns. Now, Spector, you were talking about the spread. Yeah, like totally get it. I mean, double digits, right? But
yep.
Yeah, man. Yep. I don't think it's crazy at all. Daniel says, AB, what was the reason coach gave you to not allowing the early edge to go like this? No, he was just messing around. Like, no, like we love it, man. Like we're gonna do much more of it too. It's just finding the spot because there are a lot of people that listen podcasts that like it 5 minutes. So it's kind of figuring out like where the spots are to do it. But kind of my idea, I was like, dude, let's just do a different show. Like we could do the podcast real quick and not even go live with it. Just do the podcast, record it, post it, and then do the show normal time. You know what I mean? Like I like this a lot. Like some days are going to be better than others. Like this weekend, 4 p.m. Eastern Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern Sunday. Those are going to be a blast because then, we're 2 days in, each team has played. We're going to see where we're at. And then that's when it's going to get, just an absolute blast. So yeah, man, like I 100%, I love doing it. Like I almost started just going live for like an hour, like randomly, but coach was like, man, just calm down. Like, let's figure out how to do it. So yeah. All right. Yeah, that's pretty much all we've got. I mean, it's, you see the 10 games there. We've kind of talked about it, kind of broke them down. I know that we'll all be live social media wise. So if anybody wants to talk ball, like just bring it, man. Post it on Twitter, whatever. Any final thoughts, boys, before we jump out of here?
Fade the Big Ten.
Fade the Big Ten. All right. I'll tell you what. You know what? We're going to do that. All right, everybody. Best of luck. Let's cash these tickets. We'll see you tomorrow, Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern normal time. We'll see you then.